Morning. Today I'm in Watchet in Somerset, England, and I'm obviously here to photograph that's in front of me there. You can just see it, Watchet Lighthouse, and obviously the harbour area in general. A little bit of a wall going up to the lighthouse, so I've come here to photograph that. It's the last day of my 4-day trip to Somerset. It's been a challenge at times. I mean, it's nice and calm this morning, which is fantastic compared to yesterday, because it was just like gale force wind, and I was on Western-super-Mare and there was a westerly wind, so it was coming straight up the Bristol Channel and straight on across off the sea, straight onto my camera. So unfortunately, a lot of sea spray within seconds of setting up the shot. Within seconds, I was just covered in sea spray, and you know, doing long exposures is difficult enough, but when you've got verging on gale force winds and a lot of sea spray and rain as well, and I was trying to stop that, it was a nightmare. Anyway, today is much calmer. This morning it's beautiful. You probably can't see it on the phone, but there is some sky, nice little sort of colours in the sky there. The sun's about to rise. This is a sunrise scene if you want the sunrise in the shot. Obviously looking up towards the lighthouse, you can see there the sunrise is going to come up over those hills over there, so I'll capture that, but obviously long exposures for me. I'll go around the other side also as well. You can walk along that side there onto the other end and shoot across. Again, fine art style, long exposures is what I'm looking for really, but whilst the light's nice over there, I'll try and capture that also. I've just run a 4-minute exposure, just hang on. Okay, just let me flip the camera around so you can see. You can see that I've just run a 4-minute exposure, really flatten that water. You can see the colours are in the sky there. Just going to check I'm not underexposed there on the, because it is in shade on the structure leading up to the lighthouse there. So histogram says I'm close, but I'm not clipped. I'm not lost the shadow detail, so I can pull that back in the in post, sorry, because it's a raw image. So I'll take some more now, and then we'll see how that goes. Okay, I've just found another little composition. You can see just with this in the foreground, and obviously this, and then just a little bit of this over on the other side. Is it the best image ever? Probably not, but you know, I'm here, so I'll take a few different ones. So with that, we're being closer up in the foreground, and we're doing long exposure. I've focused on the foreground interest, which is the little post there. Don't know exactly what it is. I'm assuming it's for throwing your rope on when you pull in on your boat. I might be wrong, correct me if I'm wrong anyway. But yeah, I focused on that, taking a 1-minute exposure. The water's not moving too fast, so it's flattening it at a minute anyway, so I'm happy with that, a minute exposure. I usually do 2 to 4, but I've gone for a 1-minute exposure to speed things up a little bit because I want to move around there now. But then obviously a focus stack, so I focused on that and then I focused on that. So I'll blend the two together and hopefully get a nice sharp image overall. Okay folks, so I've come across to the other side of the marina now. I'm on the other jetty. So this one, as you can see behind me here, with the lighthouse there, I'm now on the structure that was on the right of my first image that I showed you. I've just taken me, just a warning, I've taken me out off because I'm getting a bit warm, but just be careful because obviously if there's any exposure issues, it'll probably be off the top of my head, to be honest with you. The sun is still there, but there's no real exposure issues now anyway, because obviously it's behind me. I'm shooting sort of in the opposite direction. You can see it's up there, it's diffused by the clouds, so all the lights diffused, you could say a little flat, but for my kind of photography, it's perfect. So yeah, I'm shooting away from there. So now what I'm doing, I'm on ISO 200 always, where I can, which is pretty much all the time, because obviously I use my filters to adjust the exposure and the shutter speed, obviously. So yeah, ISO 200 always. I'm on a 4-minute exposure on this particular one. Get a bit of a better angle. I'm on a 4-minute exposure on this particular one with an ND, Firecrest ND 13 stop filter and the Benro hard grad 2-stop. Now 45 quid I paid for the Benro. Thought I'd try it out, fairly cheap. I didn't have a hard grad in my kit. I thought I need one, especially coming around the coast a lot more now. And so far, from what I can see in the camera, it's pretty good for 45 quid. You buy the Lee one, obviously. I trust Lee because I've used them before. And the Format High Tech, I've used them before. Never used Benro, but I'll give it a whirl. It looks all right in camera, so hopefully it's good. And for 45 quid, it's about 30 quid cheaper than the Lee one. So yeah, anyway, I'll take this shot now, 4 minutes. It's currently running. I think I've got about 40 seconds left, so we'll have a look at that in a minute. Just a side note to say that these images that I've taken across the way, they're not going to break any records. They're nothing special. You know, they're the obvious compositions. If you arrive here, you'll see what I mean. You know, they're nothing special. But I will say this place has got bags of potential. I'm on my last day of my trip now, so I've only got another couple of hours and then I'm gone. And I want to shoot some B-roll on my gimbal as well, because I'm just learning with that. I'm trying to improve my skills there. What's it for? I don't know really. I mean, I'll post it on YouTube on my own personal page. You know, I'm no Thomas Eaton or Peter McKinnon or the likes of those. But at the end of the day, if it's nothing else, it's a document of my trip for my own personal pleasure to look back on and with fond memories, hopefully. Apart from yesterday, because it was bloody awful. But yeah, you know, yeah. So that's it. So that's why I'm doing the filming. So if people like it, fantastic. You know, it's great. You know. But I'm not expecting to be famous or anything. I'm just doing it for pleasure, really. You know, capturing the image is the main thing, but it's always nice to have a little video of your trip as well. You know, a little memory. So definitely get into that. Yeah, that image. I just look back at it, and it's a nice image, but I just want a slightly wider perspective. So I've got. Hang on, let me get it out. 1 second. So yeah, I want a slightly wider perspective. So what I've got here is a focus. Come on, you stupid thing. Why is it not focusing now? Okay, so what I've got here is a Samyang 12mm f2. It's fantastic. 250 quid, right? Brand new. Come on, focusing. What the bloody hell is it doing now? Right, I tell you, if I do that. So 250 quid, brand new. Fantastic little lens. It's got no autofocus. It's got no image stabilization. So if you're shooting like a lot of movement, handheld, perhaps it's not for you. But for landscape on a tripod, I don't need stabilization, and I certainly don't need autofocus. I'm quite capable of focusing an image manually. It's very good. You can see there, all the measurements are there to infinity. So it's quite easy to focus. And obviously you've got your little aperture f-stops there, and there's clicks in between those numbers as well. So you've got good control, albeit all manual. But as I shoot everything manual on camera, it just extends that. And with the X-T2, I have to say, it makes me feel so much more involved with having all the dials that I can control myself. and that just extends and adds to that. So I'm going to use this now because this is a 12mm, so effectively on the crop, sorry, come on focus, effectively on the crop it's 18mm, and the one I've got on at the moment is the kit lens, the 1855, so I'm currently running at widest 27mm, so just get that little bit of a wider shot. Just a quick note for those that may be interested in the Samyang 12mm, don't confuse the one I've got, the f2, with the f2.8, because as far as I understand it, the f2.8's got a bulbous front, and you can't put the filters on with the Lee holder or any of the other holders that you might use. Well, that's it, pretty much done now. Taken the images that I wanted to take. I will have a quick walk around the marina and I'll take a few more images, but other than that, I'm done. For any of you who haven't come to Watchet before, you must come. It's a beautiful place and beautiful people also. I've had a good chat with the locals this morning, all very friendly, so highly recommended. Come to Watchet if you haven't done already. Well, that's it from me. It's over and out. See you later.